Well, Albariño is a grape variety that has been cultivated in this area for over 1,000 years. It used to be believed to be very related with Riesling and being brought here by the monks through pilgrims and flow of people that came to the Santiago de Compostela. But now has been proven that actually it's not. It's a local grape variety, native from northern Portugal and southern Galicia. In this particular area where we are located, not farther than 1 kilometer in straight line to the Atlantic coast, it's a very puristic place in terms of the grape varieties that we have over here. So Albariño's being the main grape variety or the queen grape variety of this area. The wines, of course, portray that freshness, that electricity, that straightforwardness that an Atlantic wine can showcase. In a younger period of an Albariño wine, that's the main thing that you're gonna see. Of course, you have a important factor that is fruit, but I think for me the most remarkable thing is definitely about the palate. The palate has a different dimension of salinity in harmony with acidity. I get that's really something very remarkable, very particular about this area. The appellation Rías Baixas has 5 different sub areas. If I name them from north to south, the youngest and the northest one is Ribera do Ulla. Then you have Salnés, then you have Sotomayor, and then you have O Rosal and Condado de Tea. So from all 5, Salnés is the biggest one. Actually, it takes almost half of the whole appellation, and it's also the one that has the longest territory on the coast. So let's say that this is the one that has the most influence by the Atlantic. So in easy words, it will be like the one with the moodiest of the weathers of all 5. In the south, you have Rosal. Rosal has a very little corner right on the sea, and then it kind of like prolongs towards inland. Also, Condado de Tea is 100% inland. So we struggle a lot about fungal diseases because it's such a moody weather over here and such a wet weather. But it's also, if I have to say, from all 5, the one that has like more of a very vivid classic Galician culture going on. We have here in Galicia what is called Galician small-scale agriculture. That means that all these families that used to produce their own wine, they have a couple of vines there in the backyard, and then produce their own wines for many generations till a certain point that they have no followers because people emigrated to big cities to go study and to do something else, and so they had to either join in a cooperative or join to a private in order to keep the production going. So we have these days the same amount of grape producers as in Burgundy, but of course in Burgundy you have 300,000 hectares, and here we have just 4,000 hectares. So everything is scattered around, and thousands of micro plots in different fisherman villages all along the coast. From, in our case, with the families that work with us, go from Meaño area towards Cambados, so all surrounding the Ria da Rosa, which is kind of like the two Cambados and Meaño being the Grand Cru or the Shangri-La for Albariño in this area. But viticulture here is actually in hands of 1,000 families that actually live from that, and there's a lot of love and there's a lot of effort put into this vineyard, but that also brings so much culture and so much tradition into this wine. One of our wines, Etiqueta Verde, is actually made from around 100 different microplots scattered around this area right next to the winery. There might be a radius of no more than 5 kilometers surrounding the winery where these little plots are located, but that's actually the very pure expression how viticulture has evolved here through the years. If you're having a Val do Salnés Albariño, you should immediately be teletransport to a coastal area. In the nose, it's gonna be this cool, precise, clean note, sort of a mixture of fruit, citrus. It could be also a little bit of tropical, but that's not actually very classic Salnés. I will say that I describe my Salnés more on the stone fruit, but white flesh stone fruit. Also citrus blossom. Also kind of like a wet stone flinty note, but at the same time very precise and very cool. And on the palate, of course, the wine should be very clean cut, straightforward, lean, precise, and should also bring that tension, that electricity, that nervousness into your palate to leave just that salty aftertaste that will take you forever to forget.